This was my first ever drone that I crashed 2 years ago. It got stuck in a tree and I couldn't get it down. It says the rotors are at max speed, but it's been running like that for like 8 minutes now. You figured it'd shut off. But look at that. 2 years later, it has been returned to me.
You're a hero! Wow!
I think this is all of it.
Tell the DownieLive fans what you got there.
Got Mike Downey's drone from 2.5 years ago. Or maybe, no, just under 2 years ago.
Man.
And this is that story. Let's lower this for a second here. That's awkward, right? We were in a really rural part of Vancouver Island because you can't fly the drone where it's populated. So we were out exploring, we were out in the middle of nowhere, found this great bridge, this beautiful looking river, decided to put the drone up. Now I'm gonna go to the beginning of the footage where the drone is taking off. You can see we're on a gravel road. This is sort of the logging road that we were on because I didn't want to take it off from the bridge itself because in case something happened, the return to home would have it automatically return over the bridge and come down. Now the thing is, if it misses by a few feet and it misses the bridge, it now goes down into the water. I didn't want that to happen. At least by putting it on over top of the gravel road area, if I start it from there, if it misses, it might fall into a tree and we could throw stuff at it and catch it or whatever it was. I felt like that was less of a risk than putting it over the water. First, obviously wanted to fly along the bridge. That's sort of the most beautiful scenic area. So I do some great shots from above. There were two kind of fishermen standing up there that were walking along. Just getting all of the beautiful scenic shots I could with this camera here. And they turned out really well. I think this one particular shot is really nice. The way it descends, it's turning, and the camera is rotating. So you're getting three motions or three-axis motion in one shot, which is a very difficult flight. So I'm personally proud of it, but I also think it looks great. Anyway, after that, kind of look around with the camera, look around with the drone, and decide I want to fly upriver and see what's around the bend. So as I go over top of all of these rocks, the shot isn't beautiful, but I'm lowering the drone, trying to get close because that's going to give the most action at the bottom of the camera. It's going to make it the most dramatic. But right here, as we start to get over top of the water, it actually gets really beautiful. Like, look how smooth that water is. You can see through the water, but also as you look up at the horizon, you almost can't tell where the water stops and the land starts. And I think this is so beautiful. So as I start to turn the drone here around the corner, this is where I lose transmission. The image on my drone controller goes dead. It says image transmission lost, and essentially I can't do anything. So at this point, normally the drone would go straight up into return to home mode, which would then bring it back down over the gravel dirt road I started on. Essentially, we hear the drone coming and it flies into the tree, which it shouldn't do. It has these two things here are sensors, so if it senses an object, it will come to a stop, and the return to home will either have it go up and over or figure out a way around. It shouldn't have flown straight into the tree. Also, at this point, the transmission should have come back to my controller because I'm so close to it, but for some reason, it didn't. So all of this was very fishy to me, and sure enough, the drone stuck in the tree. Now it's still running up there. We're trying to get it down. Let me wrap this up by saying we spent 2 hours trying to get that drone out of the tree. It wasn't going to happen, and I wrote it off. We weren't going to get it back. I was headed back to Vancouver that afternoon or the next day, and it was going to be pouring rain overnight. Even if we did get it back, it would be toast. So, fast forward to today, my friend Cam goes back. Shout out Cam! But essentially, he looked up in the tree, couldn't see it up there anymore, so he looked all around. It's now been 2 years since, and it was buried under leaves and whatnot. It was very hard to find and was, as you can see, in 2 pieces. But the SD card works. So let's cut to the footage of the drone crashing. But I thought that footage is pretty remarkable to see it go fully underwater, still recording, come up out of water, not know what's going on, go back underwater, but then pull itself out a second time and then fly home. So we got the drone back, we got the footage back. I thought that was a pretty cool story. A quick look at the damage done on this drone. The camera came off. It's fully missing one set of propellers completely. All the other ones are rusty. Not sure if you can hear that. Oh. Yeah, they do not sound good at all. This leg, this joint here is bent backwards past the point where it should. Obviously, one of the blades dug into the battery back here. That's the story of my drone flying underwater, then crashing into a tree. Thanks for watching. I flew with my current working drone here yesterday, so why don't we wrap this up with some of those shots for you as a thank you for all your support here. I mean it. It's really good having you here.